North Carolina, where's PD Pablo at? Because the Court of Appeals reverses course on marijuana smell for searches, you guys. That's right. Hemp and marijuana are different names for the same plant, but it can be legal or illegal depending on how much Delta-9 THC it has in it. But the smell of it could land you in trouble, even if the substance is legal, you guys. That's right. Until hemp became legal in North Carolina back in 2022, the standard for officers to establish probable cause for a search was well understood. In a quote, if you're a trained officer who can testify, yes, I know how to identify this stuff by sight and smell, that's enough for probable cause to search somebody, and that's all you need to prove at trial. Either the officer's just word that means that this is marijuana, said Phil Dixon, an attorney who now teaches at the University of North Carolina School of Government. Dixon says what constituted probable cause was an open legal question because smelling the difference between these new cannabis products and marijuana is impossible, according to the State Bureau of Investigation. That was until a trial court judge ruled that officers could not search someone based on a smell alone. Then the North Carolina Court of Appeals overturned that decision this week. In a quote, from the perspective of people using hemp products, it certainly sets the standard that says you are subject to search just for smelling like it. And whether it's hemp or marijuana, that's for the officer to investigate. And if they're wrong about it and charge you anyways, well, you can prove the difference at trial, Dixon told Channel 9's Evan Donovan. Local attorneys told Channel 9 that the Charlotte Mockingbird Police Department has been operating on an, in quotes, odor plus policy, meaning they could search if they smelled what they thought was marijuana and had some other smell or piece of evidence. We've reached out to CMPD to confirm if that is their policy and whether it will change based off the new ruling, you guys. Well, look at this. Shout out to North Carolina, and man, people are going to be able to ride around and get it just a little bit better now, knowing that they don't have to worry about the smell of cannabis being the tip-off for a search. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. This is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News. What do y'all have to say?
I don't know that I trust Charlotte Mecklenburg PD to do anything. I've spent a lot of time there. My kid's grandma lives there, but yeah, I think the police get to decide if it's hemp or marijuana. All right, so I guess we'll figure that out in the wash and some very expensive county-sponsored testing.
I mean, you think they're just going to just drop it in the thing and it's going to turn purple?
Purple. I don't know, buddy. Shake it around, give it a little jiggle.
I mean, I think this is fantastic news for all the citizens of North Carolina. This is great news. They don't have to worry.
Well, North Carolina is doing a lot in the hemp industry, right? So there are a lot of like looking beyond just someone having a little bit in their car or something like that, right? If you pull somebody over and they're a professional driver, it's very likely that they could be hauling a large amount of like industrial hemp. We've had people arrested for that, and the driver has to sit there until they realize, oh, I'm sorry, you have a whole bunch of biomass that was going to go make distillate that was going to make hemp gummies so your grandma can sleep at night. So I think that it's a win.
And North Carolina, I think per capita is the largest hemp consumable product market in the country.
Well, we know what Petey Pablo's smoking.
Any thoughts on this, Matthew, Yarrow, Sean, Rico? Rico, you with us?
Try to stay out of North Carolina if you can, unless you're in Asheville. You know, Asheville's like Austin. It's a beautiful city, surrounded by a red state where they don't want you.
You said Asheville, right?
Yeah. Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay. Just want to make sure you weren't
it's like Austin, Texas. It's very similar. It's like
Nashville's not
citadel in the midst of Republican backwardsness.
So all partisan jibes aside, which is important, we have to get those in the first 10 minutes of any show to establish that we're going to keep it zesty. But my concern is, and I didn't read your article cover to cover, Jason, but it sounds like this is actually a step backwards, not a good thing.
Really?
Because what I read, and again, I don't want to say that I read it better than you, because you know you can't pick on the kid at the back of the school bus. But it says that.
You mean on the short bus?
I didn't say short because, that's what people say about me.
People love to pick on the disabled all the time.
No, I meant mentally, not physically, bro.
But it says,
Disabled.
but it says that the North Carolina Court of Appeals overturned the decision that week, and it said from the perspective of people using hemp products, it certainly sets a standard that says you're subject to search just for smelling it like it, and whether it's hemp or marijuana, that's for the officer to investigate. And if they're wrong about it and charge you anyway, well, you can prove the difference at trial, Dixon told Channel 9's Evan Donovan.
I think that was before. How I understood it is that was prior to this judgment.
They overturned the judgment, Jason. That's what the article was about.
I don't know.
So anyway, this was a short article, so I'm not going to say that.
Article, yeah.
It was a very short article. It didn't go. We didn't have Dale Schaefer on to opine or some of the other trained people. But depending upon which direction this actually went, if they were saying that it's on a defendant to prove in court later whether it was hemp or cannabis, I wouldn't be in favor of what's going on in North Carolina. If it increased the protections for cannabis and hemp users by eliminating the smell as probable cause, then I'm in favor of it. But again, I couldn't tell from this article myself.
That was what I got, is basically they can't use the smell of cannabis to be as probable cause due to the fact that they have such a robust hemp market out there.
Well, all I'm saying is it says the North Carolina Court of Appeals overturned a decision, and so I was confused. That's on me, I'm sure.
I mean, that's just that's normal though, Yarrow.
Like MSG said, all of Yarrow's ableist comments aside, I would like to say,
Oh boy.
like MSG said, man, a big shout out to Asheville, the first city in the South to do reparations. But if it ain't in Asheville, and if you ain't on the reservation, I would advise everybody being from that region down the Tobacco Road, stay the fuck out of North Carolina.
100%. But Asheville's great. Shout out to the Asheville Music Hall.
I don't know. I got invited to go out to North Carolina to go check it out from a pretty prominent hemp attorney out there, and I think we are gonna go and do that at some point and go and check out the whole North Carolina scene. Maybe we can link up with PD Pablo and we can, you know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe you're going to want to know. You're going to want to know whether this thing went in which direction this went. You're going to want to know before you go there whether the smell is probable cause, Jason. That would be a self-preservation technique. Don't pull a Britney, bro. Don't pull a Britney, and then I got to go rescue you.
The good news about this, Yarrow, is that I would refer to the attorney that has invited us out there to go and check this whole thing out. So I would defer to him in regards.
Well, God, I hope he's a criminal defense attorney.
Oh, God.
We now have you.
Jason, we'll come get you. Me and Yar are going to pull up like, where's our son?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Give him back.
Cute.
We have you on now, Jason, defending the racist-ass cops that were talking about taking out the folks on the reservation. And now you're saying you want to plant your roots out there, man?
I didn't say anything about planting roots. I said going out there to visit. I didn't say nothing about moving there. You're definitely putting words in my mouth.
Rico, that was different.
Yeah. Rico, you're starting to flip-flop as much as your story that you're about to cover.
Uh-oh.
Okay, let's hop into it. All
right, fair enough. We're going to go to this first commercial, and we're going to be right back, and we're going to roll right into Rico's flip-floppity story.